A warm welcome, a very good evening, and welcome to another edition of Today at the Nigeria Stock Exchange. This program, oh, by the way, my name is Tunde. How are you doing? This program will give you daily updates every business day of how stocks, how the market performed. We've had a lot of financial illiteracy. Many people in the populace, they are not aware of what is going on the Nigeria Stock Exchange. So, and that excludes people. That exclusion derives its origin from lack of education. Many people know about sport updates on a daily basis. They know of clubs in England, they know of clubs in Spain, they know of Barcelona, they know of Real Madrid. They don't know the performance of companies that affect their lives right on Nigerian soil. So that is one of the aims of this program, to broaden education, stock market education, capital market education. So it's my pleasure, and I hope you get educated and know how your, if you have any shares, if you want to get into it, you just want to be informed about happenings, daily happenings on the Nigeria Exchange. This is the place to be. So tell somebody to tell somebody. If you have never heard of news about Nigerian capital market, Nigeria Stock Exchange, now you have the opportunity, and I'll tell you, there are loads of surprises. There are loads of pleasant surprises. There are loads which you're going to be getting as this program progresses on a daily basis. So let's go and see how today was. Again, market, the stock market, the stock exchange, the Nigeria Exchange, the NGX, any market is like the weather. Things change. Things change in the market because investors come to the market. They have come to trade their shares. They have come to trade their stocks. So things change like the weather in the stock market, whether it's Nigeria Stock Exchange, New York Stock Exchange, or the Asian Stock Exchange, or wherever, things always change in the market on a daily basis. So today was no exception. By the way, because it's evening, grab something to drink, whether it's coffee, tea, or water, whatever it is you want to drink, grab something to drink. And then after this little break, I'm going to continue. Right. So the market today, there were loads of movement. Shares changing hands, things exciting investors. So there are lots of movement once the market's open till it closed. But by the way, let me also tell you, from the first of this month, which was on Monday, the settlement day for the Nigeria Exchange had been reduced to 1. It is +1. In previous times, when you instruct your stockbroker to sell your shares before, it used to be 3 working days before your money could be credited to your account. Like a couple of months back, it was reduced to 2 days, which was progress. So that means if you told your stockbroker, you instructed them to sell your shares on Monday, before June 1st, before Monday, you waited for 2 days before your money is credited. That means if you told your stockbroker to sell your shares on Monday of last week, Monday the 25th, you will have received your money. You have to wait for 2 working days, Tuesday and Wednesday, for your money to be credited to your nominated account. But from Monday, June 1st, that cycle was reduced to 1 day. So that means if you had instructed your stockbroker to sell your share on Monday, you will have received your money the following day. That is a massive progress for the Nigerian Stock Exchange. So that means if you instructed your stockbroker to sell your shares today, you'll be getting your money in your account, the proceeds of your stocks tomorrow. So that is, I just say I should keep you informed about that. So that is a progress being made on the Nigeria Stock Exchange. Right. So today there were movement, like I said, stocks changing hands between investors. Remember, the stock market, this is where investors do business. They trade stocks, they trade shares, and as I've mentioned before, stocks value, they can go up and down. Over 200 companies are listed on the Nigeria Exchange, and each day is totally different. And as I mentioned earlier, the exchange, Nigeria stock market, or any market for that matter, is like the weather. Things can change. I was coming home today and I saw that what the weather was a couple of hours earlier, it changed as I was near the house. So that is how it is in the market. What you get as weather today in the morning, a couple of hours later, it might be sunny, it might be rainy, it might be cloudy. So that is how exactly it is on the stock exchange as well. So today, the market started quite, on an anxiety mode. In the morning, among the early movers, we had stocks that really moved. Japan and Gold Ventures was one of the early gainers. It shot up over 5%. And also we had First City Merchant Bank, FCMB. It was bullish. It was bearish in the morning when the market opened. Others that were bearish when the market opened were Chance, Zenith Bank, and the others. They were all bearish. That means bearish means they quickly lost value. Their value went down. This is always due to market forces. So prices go down, they come up. Among those that gained today, early risers today, we are Japan, Secure Electronics, the NGS group itself. First Bank also did tremendously well very early when the market opened. Consolidated Hallmark did very well when the market opened. ICO Insurance, FCMB, like I mentioned, GTCO also did well. Fidelity, they all had their time, all their bullish moments today. So as I did yesterday, today I'm going to be telling you the top 5 gainers, which stocks performed the most, that gained the most, and then which stocks, the top 5 losers as well, which top 5 stocks lost in value the most. Don't forget to grab yourself something to drink. Right. So, which stocks performed the best 5 and which stocks performed lost the most? The top 5 gainers, top 5 losers. Watch out. I'm going to be mentioning that very soon. And also tomorrow, if you're a shareholder of ICO Insurance, you should have received notification. Tomorrow is their AGM. If you are a shareholder in ICO Insurance, you must have received notification today or before now. Tomorrow is the annual general meeting. And remember, it is during annual general meeting you get to know how the company has performed for the year. Sorry, there is no provision for observers. You must be a shareholder to attend any AGM of a publicly limited company, or you are a proxy for a shareholder. So that's that. Tomorrow, there are other companies whose AGM are coming later in the month. I'm going to be giving you the information, and if you're a shareholder of any of the company, you will have received. Normally, they will inform you. One of the prominent companies on the exchange, their AGM is on the 25th. They've already notified me of this, but I'm going to mention that probably next week. So for today, which companies performed gains were the top 5 losers? Remember, stocks values go up and values come down depending on how investors behave on a particular day. Remember also, they are institutional investors, they are also retail investors. So when they come to the market, that is what determines, that is how market forces push stocks up and down. This happen on a daily basis. So today, the top 5 losers, stocks that lost value, that were really pushed down the most. At number 5, sitting at the bottom of the pile, is Haradel Holdings. It lost over 9% by the close of business. Remember, yesterday was different. Those who were top 5 gainers and top 5 losers, they are different from those who we have today. Like I said, it's like a match on a match day. Let's say a match being played today, a match being played yesterday. Players, footballers perform differently on a particular day. That's the way it is also in the stock market. So today, the top 5 losers, at number 5 is Haradel Holdings. Haradel Holdings lost is the top, is number 5 among the top 5 losers, those stocks whose value went down the most. That's number 5. Number 4, Ela Lakes. That also lost more than 9%, 9.55%. The value of the shares went down by 9.955% at the close of business. So that's number 5. That's number 4. So we have Aradel number 5, and then we have Ella Lakes number 4. Let me ask you again, as I always do. Here is a quiz for you. Have you received any dividend this year? And number 2, do you hold shares in any of the companies on the Nigeria exchange? Just think about that. You can put down your answer for me in the comment section. Do you hold, are you a shareholder of any of the companies listed on the Nigeria exchange? And also, have you received any dividend either this year or in the past 1 year? You can put your comment down in the comment section. Put down your response in the comment section. So, all right, so let's go. Number 3. The company sitting on number 3 of the top 5 losers for today is Eternal Oil. Eternal Oil lost over 9% of its value today as well. So number 3 is Eternal Oil. Number 4, Ella Lakes. Number 5 is Harade Holdings. These are the bottom 3 in the top 5 losers. It's just like saying, okay, in a class of 20, just giving you an example to put it in context, let's just say, okay, which companies were in the class of 20, the topmost 5 at the bottom that lost the value the most. So Ela Lakes, number 4, Harade Holdings, number 5, and Eternal Oil. All these stocks lost value by over 9%. So if you are a shareholder of any of these stocks, this wouldn't have been the best day for you to instruct your stockbroker to sell, because you'll be selling at a losing value. Of course, if you are not instructing your stockbroker, the position can change, so that does not affect your dividend if your company turns out to profit at the end of the financial year. But if you had wanted to sell any of your positions today, for instance, selling, if you hold any of the shares, if you had sold today or told you at the close of business, if your stockbroker had sold for you at the close of business, you will have been losing value. But that's that, positions change throughout the day. Some stocks, they start at a particular spot and they maintain that position all through. But these stocks, it didn't happen like that for them. They were the topmost five. So just to recap again, Arade Holdings is number 5, Ella Lakes number 4, Eternal Oil is number 3. Number two, remember I'm talking about companies, the top 5 losers in the market today, the top 5 losing stocks that depreciated the most, the top 5 stocks that lost value the most. Number 2 is ABC Transport. Yes, ABC Transport. That's the company that owns those luxurious buses that transport you from Lagos to the east or from various parts of the country. ABC Transport lost 9.88%. It closed by losing 9.88% of its value. So that is number 2. Then, do you have any idea of the company that topped the list of the 5 topmost losers? Any idea? If you have any idea, put down your comment, put it down, put down your response in the comment section. If not, I'm going to be telling you just in a moment. This company lost 10% of its value today, and that company is Mark Nichols. It closed at 10% down today. So those are your top 5 losers at the close of business today. Number 5 is Aladel Holdings. Number 4, Ela Lakes. Number 3 is Eternal Oil. Number 2 is ABC Transport. And number 5 is Magnicos. These were the top 5 losers for today. Other shares lost value, but these 5, they are the ones that lost the most. Or there are other companies, ICO, for instance, lost value. I don't know what it closed with. But these 5 companies, these 5 shares, they lost the most by the close of business today. Now you want to hear which companies are the top 5 gainers at the end of today's business. Which companies, which shares gained the most? Number 5 is John Holt. John Holt, the shares appreciated in value by 7.9% at the close of business today. So that is the top. We're talking of the top 5 now. Look at the top 5 and the top 3 like a premiership table. You see, so for a premiership table, there are 18 clubs, 20 clubs in the table. So when we're talking about the top 5 losers, we are looking at clubs in 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. That's the way to look at it. So those are the top 5 losers. So you look at clubs from 15, 16, 17, 18, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So those are the top 5 losers. So now we are talking about the top 5 gainers. If this were a game of football, this will be the companies, this will be the shares, if you are picking them today, that will go to represent the NGX in the Champions League of stocks. But anyway, just putting that in context for you. So at number 5 of the top 5 gainers for today is John Holt. It closed at 7.9%. The share value appreciated by 7.9% at the close of business. At number 4, Omatech Ventures. The share value, it was bullish by 9.19% by the close of business today. So if, for instance, an investor who had instructed their stockbroker, if they wanted to cash out today, for instance, probably they needed money or they just want to sell that today, all right, I want to sell some of my positions. If you had John Holt, for instance, or Omatech, today will have been a good day for you because they appreciated in value quite significantly. So number 5 is John Holt. John Holt finished number 5. So again, like I said, this is like the Premiership table. So these are the clubs that finished the season position 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The top 5 losers are clubs that finished for the day 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So that's the way it is. So number 4 in the top 5 gainers is Omatech Ventures. Number 5 is John Holt. Do you have any idea of who number 3 is? Which company's stock finished as the third most gaining stock that appreciated the most? The third, do you think? If you have an idea, put down your response in the comment section to say yes. This particular company was among the top 5 gainers yesterday, but today it's been shoved down. It still performed well. Is at number 3. If you have any idea, you can put down your response in the comment section to say, I think this is the name of the stock that finished at number 3. Okay, yes, number 3, the company that finished at number 3 today is Abe Mortgage Bank. Yes, many of you might not know that we have mortgage bank in Nigeria. We have mortgage bank and they are listed on the Nigeria exchange. So it finished at number 3 among the top 5 gainers. The value of the share closed at 9.68% up. It closed at 9.68% up. So that's it. Number 5, we have John Holt. Number 4, we have Omatech Ventures. Number 3, Abe Mortgage Bank. So Abe Mortgage Bank finished as the number 3 top 5 gainers. It closed at 9.68% up. Yes, that's how it's been so far. And like I said, do not forget, throughout the day, positions of stocks, their positions, some went up, they went down. There are times which GTCO was up. There was a particular time also the value went further up. There was a time ICO was up, it was bullish. Along today also, there was a time it was bearish. That's just how it is. Fidelity was bearish at a time. There was also a time that it was bullish. So that's how it is in the market. Remember, the stock exchange is like the weather for a day. Sometimes the day starts very cloudy. 2 hours later, the sun is shining, especially if you live in UK weather, that's the way it is. By noon, sun is shining. 3 hours later, it could be cloudy or it could be rainy. So that's the way the stock market also behaves like the weather at times. So a company, a share that was trailing bullish at a particular time, it can be pushed to the bear section. So back to the top 5 gainers for today. Number 5, already told you, is John Holt. It closed at 7.9%. Number 4, Omatech Ventures. It closed at over 9% appreciation in value. Number 3, like I mentioned, Abe Mortgage Bank. It closed for the day at 9.68%. So that is really good performance. Number 2, do you have any idea of which company it is that finished at number 2? Put down your response in the comment section if you have any idea of a company that finished as the second most appreciative company, second most bullish share for today. If you have an idea, put down your response in the comment section before I tell you which particular company finished at number 2 today. Okay, Right. Do not forget also, I mentioned at the beginning, if you're a shareholder of ICO Insurance, tomorrow is AGM day. You will have sent a notification, and also if they're paying any dividends, you will have known. And before I tell you which companies are number two, I mentioned yesterday, universal insurance, the rights issue is out. It's going to close very soon. So if you're a shareholder of universal insurance, you must have been notified that the rights issue is out. Rights issue is when a company is raising additional fund and they offer existing shareholders the opportunity to get more. Sometimes they say you must have 6 shares, then you get one for free. So it depends. So Universal is having the right to check with your stockbroker whether they have notified them and they must notify. So it's always an opportunity for you to increase your stake in that company. Like I mentioned yesterday, there's another prominent company whose rights issue is on. Yes, I may disclose it for you before the end of this or unfailingly tomorrow. One very prominent company also has the right is to be on apart from universal insurance. So that's that for now. Number two is livestock fish. Top five gainers. Number two, sitting at second position is number two. At number two is livestock feed. It closed at 9.88% of appreciation. So it was very bullish today at the close of business livestock feed. Again, if you had instructed your stockbroker, let us assume you had livestock feed shares and you had wanted to sell, you wanted to cash in, today will have been at the close of business today, will have been a good time for you cashing in because it closed today. Remember, these positions were not necessarily how the shares behave at the beginning of the day. So, like I said, it's like a weather. The stock market is like the weather. It might start very, very gloomy, and then the day goes on as market forces. Investors might just say, "Hey, we want some of this. Oh, we don't want this." When they dump their shares, that will probably bring down the value. Sometimes so they're clamoring. Remember, institutional investors, they can say, "Oh, we need to buy this." Sometimes they are responding to automation. They say, "Oh, we need to get these shares, 1,000," and then the value goes down. So that's the way. Those are some of the things that cause prices of a stock to go up and down. But number five, top five gainers. Just to recap, top five gainers is John Old at number five. It went up. It closed for the day by 7.97%. Omatech Ventures is number four in the top five gainers list. It closed at 9.1% up of its value. Abe Mortgage Bank closed at 9.68%, of its value. Livestock sits at number two. It closed at 9.88%. It appreciated by that value. Do you have an idea of the company that sits at number one, that gained the most today, that closed as the top most company today? Any idea? Put down your comment, put down your response in the comment section to say, yes, I think it is this company or that company. Yes, put down your comment, put down your response if you have an idea of which company you think might have gained the most, that was most bullish at the close of business today. Okay, I'm going to tell you now the company that closed with as number one topmost gainer for the day was International Energy. It appreciated the value by 10%. So that is the company that closed as the top of the ladder today as the topmost company that gained the most. The shares went up in value by 10%. So that is it for today. Thank you for watching. Tomorrow is another day. Tomorrow is the end of the business week. I'm going to see you tomorrow. Share this news today at Nigeria Stock Exchange. Now we know, today at Nigeria Exchange. We'll be back tomorrow. I'll see you then.